Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. And Clinton and Galen are with us this morning. Yes, indeed, it's time for another segment with
GCES.
Yes. There you go. I almost got it done right. How about that,
right,
fellas?
That's good.
I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer and closer and closer. Hey, you guys, a best of, huh? You got a best of award. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Best of Indiana County. That means a lot, I know, because that means that people already know about you, number one, but have benefited from your services. And I know that's a big deal, isn't it, Galen?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's great because, and no matter what business you're in, everybody usually gets ranked by sales, like by volume. But something like this, it's like everybody voting for you, saying that you are the best. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a quality thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Huge thank you to all of our clients, friends, partners that voted for us to get in. So it's a big deal for us. We're happy to have it.
Best of Indiana County 2023 GCES and a big grand opening. It's like Celebration City with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, the ribbon cutting is really, we had a ribbon cutting in 2016 when we first moved to Indiana. Our office used to be in Luzerne Mines for a couple years before that. So this was really our second ribbon cutting, but it was to celebrate us opening up and expanding to working with more than just federal employees. So it was really to announce that.
Yeah. And the reaction has been great.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gotten a few phone calls already from people that need more information or have questions about their retirement. Right now there's a lot of people that have a lot of uncertainty with their retirement, with the power plant closing, with waste management closing. There's a lot of people that are trying to move to different positions that want to know if their pension will carry over. So if it's questions that you have like that, that's something that we can help you with, understanding, if I do decide to make this switch to a different company or different place, are my benefits still going to carry over? How does that stuff work? And that's stuff that we can help people with.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so in our next half hour, I have a lady from Fox coming on with me, and she's going to tell us that a lot of seniors are underestimating how long they're going to live, and because of that, Galen, they are going to run out of retirement savings. You try to match that up as best you can, but, nobody has the crystal ball. Nobody knows how long they're going to live. It could be a very, very long time. It could be a short period of time. Well, that's really what you guys are all about. That's what you help people to do, is to plan for their retirement and not outlive their savings, right?
100%, yeah. I mean, with technology and the way everything's advancing, people are living a lot longer. They're curing things. Medical is keeping people alive longer. But some of the stuff and some of the products, and it really depends on the person to what we would go with, but there are things out there that guarantee a lifetime income. No matter if you are 65 when you pass away or 102, the companies have to pay you a minimum dollar amount for the rest of your life. So we can build in some guarantees for a person so they can be prepared for, how long they are going to live.
But people will say to themselves, how can that be? What kind of a system can I set up that I can get in on something like that?
Well, I mean, primarily insurance. Insurance companies, when they hold IRAs, they have the ability to put guarantees in and pretty much ensure that you're not going to outlive your money.
An easy way to explain it is if you think that you have $36,000 and you take out, and that's all you have, that's all you saved for retirement was $36,000. You could take out $1,000 a month. That's going to last you 36 months, right? 3 years.
Yeah.
We have products that'll pay you less, but will pay you for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. So it's an easy way to look at it. It might only pay you $700 a month. It might only pay you $650. It might pay you $800. Depends on the product and the person. But those products, it'll pay you less, but for the rest of your life. So that's where if someone thinks they don't have enough money, they might get a little less income month to month, but it's going to be for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
You know,
People, though, they will say to themselves and to others around them in their family, I'll never be able to quit working. And there will be certain restrictions if I start to collect money for my retirement, whatever that disbursement might be. I can only make so much before it starts penalizing me and costing me money. I think what I'm saying is there are a ton of misconceptions out there about what retirement is really all about.
Yeah, I mean, usually what you're talking about is a Social Security rule. So, if you do start collecting Social Security, there's a threshold of amount of money you're allowed to make. And if you go over that, then Social Security is going to take back half of the money. Usually, the insurance companies don't care how much money you make. The pension usually doesn't care how much money you make. It's Social Security that has the issue. But what I find have been doing this, a lot of people go back to work out of boredom. You don't know what to do with yourself. You worked so long, and then a couple years later, after you're not doing anything, you go back and get a little part-time job just, to keep yourself active.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
no. There are a lot of misconceptions because there are so many different facets to retirement. Like he's bringing up Social Security. That's just one thing that, it might be a third of someone's retirement income. It might be half. It might be all they get, depending on what they've done for themselves over the span of their career. But it has its own rules. Then the IRS has their own rules, and they make you take out required minimum distributions at a certain age. So people get confused, and then your investments have their own set of rules. There's so many different ways and different ways to look at it that a lot of people are confused, where they think there's a negative thing on this, but it really has nothing to do with that. It has to do with Social Security. So it's really being able to understand all of those things and put it together. And that's honestly why we do what we do, because people are so confused because they don't deal with it every day.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about IRAs because we hear 401k and we think that's the only thing out there that people can save into or can use as a part of their retirement savings. IRA is not a 401k. It's very similar, though, isn't it?
IRA is a general term, I would say, that encompasses all of them. It's an individual retirement account, and it depends on where you work to what your 401k, 401b, TSP for federal employees. It depends on the company that you work for, whether it's federal, state, or private sector, calls that IRA. Essentially, they're all individual retirement accounts, and even if your employer does not set one up, you could come to us or, any kind of financial advisor, and they can set you up a personal IRA, so you could save.
IRAs, they come in different forms. There's the traditional, there's the Roth. And for those who have been using traditional for a lot of years, but they want to get into Roth, there's also a Roth conversion, is there not? There
is, yeah. There's a Roth conversion. And honestly, it's case by case whether you should try to do a conversion, what you're looking to accomplish. If you've been doing a traditional for 25 years and a Roth for 2, and you don't have anybody to leave the money on to, you should probably stay traditional. It really depends on what you plan to accomplish with the money, whether you're spending that money for yourself or leaving that money on.
Yeah. And these are some of the questions that people will have. They've got a shoebox.
Yeah.
They've got a shoebox full of papers, and they don't know what to do with those papers and what they've gotten themselves into because they've been trying to do this themselves all along.
He has seen people with shoeboxes upon shoeboxes in closets hidden away. People have left him at the table for like 45 minutes to go try and find paperwork in their houses. So a big thing that you can do to help in the process, to start the process, is pull all of that stuff together and get it in one place and bring it into our office, and we can help make sense of what's in there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a size 12 shoe.
Perfect.
So my shoebox is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But it does. All that means is I don't have, as many shoeboxes as somebody else might have. But still, the shoeboxes are full of very confusing papers to people.
Of paperwork, yeah. And one thing I can tell you just from last week alone, I met up with somebody that didn't know he didn't have any paperwork for one of his 401ks. The company, he said they never sent it to him. I mean, companies usually do. I don't know the situation. But in that case, just kind of remember where you worked. And we can also search to see if you were vested to receive a pension from where you worked if you don't have paperwork on it.
Yeah. And I think the end result is when they hear what this lady's going to tell us in our next half hour about people not having enough saved up in order to match up with the length of their life. And a lot of scared people.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Don't have to be scared.
A lot of people, if you wouldn't wait until right before retirement, you know what I mean? Like 10 years before you should have a check, 5 years before retirement, have another check, 2 years before retirement, 1 year before retirement. But really, I mean, you can plan out and forecast your retirement 25 years before you're planning on retiring based off of what you have and what you're doing. So if you've been working for a while and you want to have a retirement checkup, you can call us. We can go through all of that stuff with you and figure out what you have right now, how much you're making each year, and then how much that'll give you by the time you retire.
Which does not mean that those who have waited until the very last second before retirement, it's hopeless for them. They've got a great few options as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, really, it's whenever you come in, we figure out where you're at, where you're going, and then we will put in our computer system flags of when you need to meet up and talk again. Because even when you retire, you're still going to have to meet up, say,